Luli, hey, what brings you out to this Ambassador Bridge protest, sir?
Well, freedom brings me out. I mean, I've been fired from my job. I've been marginalized. My kids have been marginalized. I've been tossed out of everything in their schools. And, we just really want to, we really want to be free. Now, Justin Trudeau said that we were white nationalists, right? I got some news for Justin.
Yeah.
Black people are not taking a shot because we've already came out of an oppressive government. We don't want to go back in. And this, what they're trying to do to us again, we don't want to do it again.
The Prime Minister demonized these people. He's called them racist. He's called them bigots and misogynist. You name it. And yet everyone I see here in support, they're singing "Oh Canada." They're dancing. Yeah. So where is this hate we're told to be afraid of?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it yet.
Okay then.
Not one bit.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Windsor, Ontario. And folks, I'm just very close to the Ambassador Bridge. It is being partially blocked by another trucker convoy. One lane of traffic is getting through. And as you can see here, near the bridge entrance, so many supporters of the trucker convoy have amassed. It is a peaceful protest. There's people over here dancing to some music. And you have to wonder, despite the vilification of the trucker convoy, despite the demonization, particularly by Justin Trudeau, these kind of protests are spreading. The Ottawa convoy, they're still holding the line in our nation's capital. We've seen other blockades in Quebec City, Toronto, Alberta, and now here in Windsor. And I'll tell you, this is a very important link between Canada and the U.S. Something like 40,000 vehicles cross this bridge per day. More than $300 million worth of goods come across this bridge every day. It is a very, very important bridge to the economy indeed. And what is Justin Trudeau going to do? Is he going to fall back on calling the truckers that are protesting a bunch of racists, a bunch of bigots? No, that's not going to cut it. Nobody's buying that. So in the meantime, let's go into the crowd and see what's bringing them out in support of these truckers. So, sir, you told me off camera you are a truck driver, but I guess your trucking company wouldn't allow you to take a truck to this protest. What is this protest all about, and what is happening on the bridge right now?
There's just way too many mandates. We can't keep up with all those rules. It's just freedom is gone. At the end of my shift today, I would have loved to go home to my kids, my wife, but instead of that, I chose to come over here, try my best. Came here with my personal vehicle.
Gotcha, and there's a whole lot of residents of the city out in support. I mean, at first we thought this was the blockade, but the blockade's really a few hundred meters down the road here. Sir, what is it in aid of? Is it to finally put an end to the mandates?
We hope so, because enough is enough. We can't deal with this. We need to cross the border. We can't do our job. I do not want to get vaccinated. It's a personal thing. It's just way too soon to jump to vaccines already. And it's my choice. And where there's risk, there must be choice.
Unlike any kind of mainstream media narrative, you didn't rob a food bank or anything like that, right?
No, these prayer women, they care and they wanted to make a difference and reach out and say, we thank you for trying to do something that you stand up for.
Well, that is great. What brings you out to show your support for this trucker protester?
I think as a Canadian, we have to stand up for our rights. That's why I'm here. Just to support and say, you know what, maybe we need to sit at the table and take another look at it. That's all.
I have a million words to say, but it's just hard to get it out. Just seeing so many people all coming together with the same spirit of freedom and love for the country is just amazing.
You know,
and it almost brings a tear to your eye almost.
I'll tell you,
I become part of it. I don't understand why the left don't want to come over and join us. This is a great party of all unity. We all want everybody to be safe, but we also don't want our rights taken away and us to be free to travel and go and spend time with our family. We've lost so much. We've lost our businesses. We've lost our family. We've lost so much to the last 2 years.
Yes. Luli, hey, what brings you out to this Ambassador Bridge protest, sir?
Well, freedom brings me out. I mean, I've been fired from my job. I've been marginalized. My kids have been marginalized. I've been tossed out of everything in their schools. And, we just really want to, we really want to be free. Now, Justin Trudeau said that we were white nationalists, right? I got some news for Justin.
Yeah.
Black people are not taking a shot because we've already came out of an oppressive government. And we don't want to go back in. And this, what they're trying to do to us again, we don't want to do it again. We don't want round two.
Isn't it amazing, sir? Prime Minister Trudeau, as well as the mainstream media, they have demonized the protesters who are supporting the trucker convoy. They've called them haters, racists, bigots, you name it. And this is coming from a prime minister who can't remember how many times he's donned blackface in his life.
That's exactly right. Blackface Justin Trudeau, right? Remember a couple of summers ago, he was, supporting Black Lives Matter and all of the things they were doing with destroying property and taking over a small town in Seattle and having a no-go zone for police and things like that. Justin Trudeau supported this. And now he's not supporting the true Black Lives Matters, which is like me and my scholars over here, my scholarly family. Yes. They're being demonized and marginalized in school. And in all of our society, we're being treated like second-class citizens.
Oh, what brings me out is just seeing everybody here, supporting everybody here. It's so good to see the work that we've been doing for the last year, getting everybody connected, getting everyone to know each other. I think that's paying off here today, and that's helped the numbers grow to the size that they are.
Oh, well, I want my freedom back. Yeah, I think I'm talking for most of the people here, but yeah, I want my rights back. I want to be able to go and do stuff again.
Okay, then. And how about yourself, sir?
It's about the same, yeah. Have our freedom back, right? And the freedom of traveling, right? Like, it's such a hassle trying to travel now, right? And
it isn't funny, Justin Trudeau is talking about interprovincial barriers in the name of fighting COVID. What do you make about that?
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Trudeau, that's for sure.
And speaking of Trudeau, sir, he says that people like you, all the people here, the people in Ottawa, etc., this is not a peaceful protest. You're bigots, you're haters, you're racists. Why is he demonizing you folks?
I have no idea. It's weird. It's all peaceful here, right? There's no violence going on or anything, right? So I don't know who's saying that, but...
News David Menzies. I'm just wondering, so you're part of the blockade then, right? Yes. Okay, then. So I see, sir, there are people with camper vans. Does that mean people are here for the long haul?
Yes, correct. They're staying here for the night. Yes, they are.
Okay, then.
Yep.
So what we're seeing right now, this is the off-ramp when you're driving from the USA into Canada that has been closed down. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, then. And how long do you think the authorities are going to tolerate this?
No clue.
Okay. Are you here overnight tonight?
Correct.
Okay, then. Interesting. Okay, well, thank you very much. Take care.
I'm the official candidate for the People's Party of Canada for the riding of Windsor to Tecumseh.
And I see by your sign, sir, veterans still marching for freedom. First of all, thank you for your service. What do you make of the eclipsing of our freedoms these last 2 years? This is the rationale for these trucker convoys all across Canada. Did you ever foresee yourself living in a Canada like this where our freedoms are so abridged?
No, I've been here 30 years, and when we come here, I mean, it was just great. I mean, this part of the world was wonderful. We had like skating, we had a horse racing track, like drive-in movies. This was like paradise. I couldn't believe the place that we come to. Now it's not so much fun anymore, and but it's going to come back.
Well, folks, I'm with Neil. He is the driver of this big rig here. Neil, what brings you and your colleagues out here shutting down the ramp of the Ambassador Bridge?
We want our freedom back. Yes.
And do you think this is tangibly going to do something in terms of returning freedom to Canadians?
I sure hope so. I really, really do hope so. We're going to stay out here until we get it back.
And sir, what do you think of the political response in Ottawa, especially towards the Ottawa convoy? I was just there this weekend. I saw for 4 days wonderful, down-to-earth, salt-of-the-earth people peacefully protesting. I didn't see one broken window, any graffiti, and yet Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is demonizing people like you. He calls you a bigot. He calls you a racist. He calls you someone conveying hate speech. What do you make of that?
He has called us everything. This is not the country my parents took me to. It's just we don't know Canada anymore.
I just feel like everyone needs the right to just stand up, you know. Just being a good person starts with that, and then everything follows through, right? If we all good to each other, then everything good will happen.
But you know what? According to our Prime Minister, sir, you and all these people and those truckers on the bridge and the convoy in Ottawa, you're a bunch of racists, you're a bunch of haters. He has demonized the people that are part of this peaceful protest. Why is he doing that?
He's mad. He's just mad that people are taking a stand against him. He's made $1 billion off us. He's made millions. He's funneled all this money into his campaign, and he has left nothing for the Canadians. Every single Canadian here works a job and pays their taxes. No one misses a day of work, but we have to follow these mandates that don't collide with, you know, certain stuff, what we believe in.
The people are inconvenienced for a couple days of the traffic. Instead of just that, what about all the people who've lost their businesses and their life savings? Some people lost their houses. Some people were not there to watch their family die or to hold their grandmother's hand.
You're so right, sir. I spent 4 days in Ottawa. I just got back last night. I didn't see one broken window. I didn't see any graffiti. I mean, where is all this hate that the mainstream media and the government say has erupted in Ottawa?
We're still looking for it. We're still looking for it, but it's nothing but a peaceful party down here. And, you know, people really just want their freedom. They're really fed up. You know, we've been subjected to 2 years of lockdowns, 2 years of 2 weeks, you know. They had underwear at Walmart roped off, for crying out loud. And we're still locked down, essentially. So people have had enough and they're done with it. I know I'm done with it.
And you know, there's such a really feel-good, peaceful vibe here, and yet the Prime Minister, the mainstream media, they vilify people like you that are part of the trucker convoy protests. They say you're racist, you're haters, you're bigots. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I don't even really know how to respond to that. We're having weekly protests, now we're doing monthly protests at the Great Canadian Flag. And absolutely everybody is always invited, including people who hate on us.
I don't see any violence here. I don't see any vandalism.
No, all I see is peaceful stuff here, right? Like it's all going like unity here, right? So.
And yourself, sir, what brings you out tonight to support the truckers?
Freedom, and I'm here for my children. You know, their future. You know, we gotta help out so we can get our freedoms back. That's my biggest concern.
Well, certainly the common man and woman they're making their voices heard. Have you ever seen the Ambassador Bridge literally shut down completely by a blockade like this?
No, never seen it. Never thought I'd see the day. I mean, that stretch of road there should be nose to tail with trucks. Yeah. Do you know there's 25,000 trucks a day cross that bridge, both directions? That's $500 million worth of trade every single day. 500 million a day. And so in 3 days, that's $1.5 billion that's not happening right now. And if that doesn't bring a government down, I don't know what will.
So, Pete, as I mentioned earlier, and you're a lifelong Windsor resident, usually on a typical evening, any time of the year, this is a very busy place. I mean, there's something like 40,000 vehicles that cross this bridge every day. And yet, have you ever seen the Ambassador Bridge like this?
Never. In all the years that I've lived up in this city, never. What you're seeing is a ghost town. And in a few moments, we may walk a little bit further, and you'll see that the crowd's gathered for our protests. But the border is completely shut down. There are no toll attendants. There's no traffic. There's nothing.
Wow. And now, what do you think this blockade is going to accomplish? And furthermore, do you think the authorities are going to clamp down to try to dismantle it in the hours or days ahead?
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be exactly like Ottawa, because unlike some of the other protests, there isn't one particular group that's come out here. There are several groups. It isn't being run by just one entity. Everybody is coming together. I understand that later on in the week there's a Toronto, there's a London convoy, and at this point the relations between the protest movement and the Windsor police have been fantastic. So nobody can say that we're causing problems or anything, or.
But certainly we see what's happening in Ottawa. We see police confiscating fuel. It's a question whether that's legal or not. In an attempt, I would say, to freeze out the truckers. Could you see something like that happening here?
I sure hope not. If it will happen, we're going to fight till we can't fight no more.
Tell me, how do you think this is going to play out, these truckers on the bridge? Do you think the authorities are going to allow them to stay there as long as they want, or are we going to see heavy tows deployed?
I don't know what's going to happen here. At this point, we can expect anything. The mainstream media will only bring out the negatives and not the positives, right? I was in Ottawa the first weekend, also with my personal vehicle, and I seen a lot of good things, a few bad things here and there, but it's always going to happen. But only the few bad things came on the news, not the good things.
Well, you're right. I think during the 2 years of COVID, we've heard over and over again that we're all in this together, but no politician has lost his job. No bureaucrat has lost their job. I think they voted themselves raises, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So clearly, I think that might be the biggest lie we've had to endure in the past 2 years.
Yeah. If they were good as they say they were, then they would be able to mitigate these certain issues. This should be something small, just to give. We're only about 40 million people in Canada. If you can't satisfy the small group of people, then how are you going to call yourself a government? You're a corporation, you're not a government, because a government is supposed to help and give back.
If you believe the mainstream media, if you believe our government, including Prime Minister Trudeau, all the people that are part of this, you're racists, you're haters, you're bigots, why are they painting you in that manner when clearly that's not the case?
I'm just a normal Canadian. I was born and raised here. Everybody that I know in this town, left, right, black or blue, it doesn't make a difference. We're all Canadians. And the same thing with the Americans. We've lived on the border. We feel a close bond to everybody. For him to actually do that just divides us further. It's like he's drawing a line in the sand that we're bad. And it automatically, as soon as you have an opinion different than them, you're branded a Nazi or a criminal or a racist or a white supremacist. This has nothing to do with color. It has nothing to do with your skin.
A lot of people say, what is the point of these trucker convoys that are all over Canada now? What had they done tangibly? Well, we see provincial governments announcing easing of the lockdown mandates, including today in Saskatchewan.
Scott Moe?
Exactly, Scott Moe.
Yeah.
We have seen, I think, the departure of Aaron O'Toole as the leader of the Conservative Party and Pierre Poilievre deciding to throw his ring into the leadership. So there are things happening because of this, wouldn't you say?
It's absolutely happening because of this trucker, I'm going to call it a trucker showdown. Yes. So absolutely. I don't know why Scott's waiting until the end of the month. I mean, we'll see what happens then. But as far as I'm concerned, they should have dropped all of these mandates yesterday. Yep. Justin Trudeau has doubled down today and said not only are these truckers going to have to be vaccinated to go to the United States, but now they're going to have to be vaccinated to go interprovincially. So that's going to throw another piece of gas.
It just never ends, does it?
It doesn't end, so it has to end here. It absolutely has to end. And I'm going to tell, first of all, I want to thank you, Justin Trudeau, for doing something no other politician could have possibly done, and that is bringing this entire country, no matter what race, creed, or color, he brought us all together, and here we are. We're together.
Sir, to take a contrarian viewpoint, what would you say to those critics of this protest that say, for those very reasons you stated, the tens of thousands of vehicles that come across the bridge, the hundreds of millions of dollars of trade that is not coming over the bridge right now, this is irresponsible, it is hurting the economy. What would you say to that?
What I would say is it's painful. It's painful and it's not fun. I'm cold, right? Yeah. I should be at home now watching Netflix, but I'm not. I'm out here supporting these guys. These guys are partying. Okay. And what we've got going on right now is we've got an intense short period of pain for long-term gain, and where perhaps people can be reunited. We've lost good long-term friends that have been 30 years. And part of the reason for that is the paranoia that has been instilled in them, and I blame the mainstream media. And I'm so very thankful for the Rebel News for being a purveyor of truth.
What do you make too, sir, if you listen to Justin Trudeau and members of the Liberal Party, if you listen to the mainstream media, you guys are a bunch of racists and bigots and haters, and yet I was in Ottawa for 4 days. I saw nothing of the sort. I don't see any of the sort here today. Why is the media, the mainstream media and the government demonizing people like you?
Media is fake. That's all it is. CBC, I don't know which other ones we all had out here. They're all fake. We've seen it since day one.
Oh, hi, ma'am. How you doing there? Good. That's an interesting flag. I guess, are you on the fence in terms of supporting Justin Trudeau?
Oh, of course. You know. No, he's got to go. He's got to resign. We need to end these mandates. My kids need the masks off their face, and I need my job back.
Oh, did you lose your job as a...
Yes,
okay,
I was PSW for 20 years here in Windsor, Ontario.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, then. And what led to you losing your job, ma'am?
Not taking the jab, sir.
Okay, then.
Yep, November 15th I was laid off, January 4th officially fired.
Wow. So whatever happened to that saying, it's oft been repeated for decades, especially by those in the feminist movement, my body, my choice, or does that just pertain to abortion and it doesn't pertain to...
Apparently it only attains to abortion and trans rights. Yeah.
A lot of stuff like that.
Yes, we've been to many across the country, sir. But what do you make of this blockade going on with the trucks on the Ambassador Bridge?
Inspiring.
And yet, what do we hear from the mainstream media and our elected officials, including our Prime Minister? These are haters, they're racist, they're bigots. Do you buy any of that?
No. Everybody here knows that they're full of malarkey.
Yes. Okay. And the other important thing, Justin Trudeau, his only response to these growing number of trucker convoys is that it's full of haters, it's full of bigots, it's full of racists. Do you see any evidence of that here in Windsor, sir?
Well, we see people dancing. We see dangerous people on roller skates. We see people making hot dogs and hamburgers. We've got some pickup hockey games going on. So if that is the definition of a fringe minority of terrorists, then I guess we're all in trouble, right?
No, these are just regular guys. But you know, when the radical left, the only thing they've got in their arsenal is by calling people bigots and racist. That's all they've got. That's all they've got. You know, and we got names for them guys, but you know, I'm not going to say that right now. But what I'm going to say is that this thing, I believe, is going to be over real soon, and we can go back to how we used to be.
But you're evidently the fringe, sir, even though when you look at the polls, it shows that the number of Canadians that support the trucker convoy movement is greater than the number that support the Justin Trudeau Liberals. So if you're the fringe, what is the governing party right now?
I'm not sure, but we will not move until these mandates are dropped, and that's just how it has to be.
So what do you make of what's happening right now on the bridge, ma'am, the truckers that have assembled? We've seen in Ottawa, the Prime Minister demonize these people. He's called them racist, he's called them bigots, and misogynist, you name it. And yet everyone I see here in support, they're singing "Oh Canada," they're dancing. Yeah. So where is this hate we're told to be afraid of?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it yet.
Okay then.
Not one bit.
Okay. Well, I hope you find re-employment, and I'm sorry that you lost your job. And okay,
Thanks,
thank you
David.
very much.
Thank you.
You take care. Bye-bye. Well, folks, I can tell you that as the night continues, this little blockade blocking the off-ramp to the Ambassador Bridge for U.S. traffic, they're not going anywhere. They're hunkering down. They've got food, they've got heat, they've got shelter in their vehicles. And you know, I can't help but think, as we see the mainstream media and as we see Justin Trudeau and his fellow Liberals demonize these truckers, I can't help but think of Tucker Carlson's wonderful line from several days ago, which was simply this: if you are alive, thank a trucker. Truckers are the reason groceries get to the supermarket. Truckers are the reason why medicine gets to the pharmacy, and so much more. Don't vilify these individuals. Don't throw eggs at their rigs. Don't libel them by calling them racist and bigots. Instead, as Mr. Carlson says, thank them that you're alive. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. A phenomenon we're seeing in Canada, isn't it? All these trucker blockades in the quest for freedom. The latest one being right here in Windsor, Ontario, near the Ambassador Bridge. Well, folks, if you want to get the other side of the story, please help us fund our missions to all the cities in Canada where these protests are taking place. If you're able to, please go to convoyreports.com, that's convoyreports.com, and kindly make a donation so that we can pay our expenses. Thank you.